We have become very close to Nora over the last couple of years. She was, poor kid, I don't know what she did wrong, but she was assigned our office as one of her business consulting offices. I don't know if that was punishment for her for something she did wrong or what, but she's been phenomenal. She's helped us with a lot of technology things and just has a wealth of knowledge. She's very accessible. I know she's been on the phone with a lot of you guys helping put together business plans and get yourselves ready for this year. Nora's been working as with United Country Real Estate over the past 10 years as both a business consultant and a trainer. Covers all of the Eastern United States. She lives in the great state of Florida and headquarters out of there, works with over 160 United Country offices, folks. That's a lot of offices. She's covers a lot of, for a small lady, she covers a big territory, I guarantee you. She's outstanding at listening to your problems. She tries to evaluate your issues individually and applies or gives you suggestions and helps apply common sense to your business for you. Prior to United Country, she had an interesting background. For over 10 years, she was an assistant with the Georgia Auctioneers Association, helping with administrative functions, writing blogs, helping with internet websites, membership management, etc. She also served as a president of a company called X-Ray IMS for 13 years, a marketing company dedicated to internet marketing solutions. Spent 4 years with the National Real Estate Auction High Velocity Auction Productions, working in web programming, administrative management and marketing and brand development consultant. So Nora brings a tremendous chest full of tools that can help us within the United Country offices. And I was excited that she agreed to talk to us today about the power of YouTube, because YouTube is going to become more and more a force in our marketing, day-to-day marketing lives. And so with that, Nora, I want to turn it over to you and let's hear what you have to say about YouTube.
Thank you. I recognize a lot of names and faces that I see on today's video. So hello to those of you that I've previously met with, and hello to those that I haven't, worked with quite yet. Today I did, I was asked to speak about YouTube, and I've talked to your group in the past about YouTube and other United Country groups. So I don't feel that I want to spend as much time trying to sell how important it is, but I do want to share a little bit of statistics and information with you if you're not familiar or you haven't participated in some of those presentations before. Kind of a fun fact that I recently learned, I didn't know this, but in 2005, when YouTube was created, it was actually intended to be a dating portal. So it's kind of funny how some of these technologies are created and what they turn into. Obviously, that is not its primary or even its best and highest use at this time, but it's evolved into having about 1 billion hours of content watched daily throughout the world. That's a lot of content and a lot of eyeballs. And that was, those statistics are for 2022. We continue to see them go up and exponentially grow. How many of you actually stream your entertainment at home through like Netflix or Hulu or maybe even YouTube? Do we have any streamers? maybe a few. I know I do. So with the streaming, people, actually projecting YouTube to their televisions, either through their smart TV or through their phone, we are seeing even higher numbers of content hours and just being devoured by consumers. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's go over and get started in here. So I've already got YouTube open here, and a lot of you already have a YouTube account. If you don't, it's free. So at any time you can create an account. You can tell if you're logged in because you will see an icon at the top right. This is me and my daughter. Actually, you can see our faces really teeny tiny there. But I do kind of recommend that people use Google accounts with Google products. It just is, it's a lot smoother for many reasons. It's not a requirement, and it's not necessary if you've already created your YouTube account under maybe a Hotmail or another account that you own. But I like to have all of my Google stuff under a Gmail. And so if you haven't already, that would be my recommendation if you need to create your YouTube account. So the first thing that I wanted to share is some success that one of our offices has found using this platform for marketing. The McPhail group is in Maine. I know that's geographically pretty far away from you guys, but there's a lot of similarities in the types of real estate that you sell. They're in a very rural market. They have offices in Lincoln and Bangor. So they do sell some homes that are, more in like suburban type communities, but they also sell a lot of land and rural real estate. And they have leveraged YouTube. And this did not happen overnight. So I don't want anybody to feel discouraged if you're not, experiencing the same results, or you don't see these results immediately from your post. But if you would like to watch them, which I highly recommend, to me, a lot of times that's the easiest and fastest and best way to get started on any social media platform is emulation. So I like to find somebody, whether it's TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, that does similar types of marketing, or that's trying to sell similar types of property, and just follow them and see how they're doing it, because I guess they say imitation is the greatest compliment. So if you want to find them, just search for McPhail Realty Maine. You can also search for Maine United Country. They're actually at the top of the search results in Google and in YouTube for a ton of terms. So it's pretty easy to find them. If you can't, just let me know. I'll be happy to send over a direct link. They have branded their channel, and you have this capability as well. And that their channel is youtube.com/@lifestyleproperties. You guys are fortunate. Johnny and the H5 group have a channel already created for you, and we'll jump over there and take a look at that in a few minutes and the benefits of adding content to that channel. But I wanted to kind of introduce you to this first so that you could make a note to subscribe to the McPhails. It's pretty crazy. The last time that I looked, which was, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, I go to their channel and watch their videos regularly. I just don't always check what their numbers are. But the last time that I recorded the number of subscribers that they have was about a year and a half ago, and they were at about 25,000 subscribers. So in that short of period of time, they have doubled their subscribers, and they're now close to almost 50,000. They're at 45,600 subscribers. So as your subscriptions are really important, it actually validates to YouTube that you are creating content that people are interested in, that it validates you as a provider, as a contributor. So when we go over to your channel, I'll show you, you can see here, I'm subscribed to the McPhails channel. If I wasn't, it would be in red and I would be able to click and subscribe. But make sure to subscribe to your own channel, subscribe to the United Country channels. I'll show you some of those towards the end of today's presentation. But definitely go in and take a look at some of their videos. Just to give you an idea, their channel is set up very similar to your H5 channel. And I think it's a really good structure because on YouTube, when you add videos, there is the opportunity to sort of cross-index them. So you can put them into playlist. Here you can see that they have created playlists for each of their individual agents. So we've got Rick and then Phil and Peter. And so not only have they sorted the videos as they've added them by the topic, which would fall under the specialty property group, but they've also cross-indexed them so that they're sorted under each individual agent's name. And Rick has done about 105 videos at this point. You've got Carmen, who's done 29. They've got some agents that are newer that have only done 5. And these are literally created by the agents with their cell phones. They do not have fancy equipment or professionals following them around doing this. Some of the tools that I would suggest that you use are stabilizers. That is something that you can buy on Amazon. It's actually just a little, it's almost like a selfie stick, and you just pop your phone in it. And so when you're walking, your video doesn't look like this. And you might laugh and think, that's ridiculous. I would never do a video like that. I see a ton of real estate videos like that. But that stabilizer is something that you can hold and videotape yourself. Like I said, a selfie stick, but when you move, it stabilizes your phone so that you're continuously steady. Some of these videos, I would encourage you to go back and watch the oldest ones that you can find, because as they have progressed in their success on YouTube, they have gotten more sophisticated. But what you'll see when you watch some of these is that they're very simple. Especially the older ones. I really don't have one picked out specifically for today, so I'll kind of cross my fingers and hope I land on something that is, we'll try this one, representational of what they do. And I'm not sure if the sound will come through.
Welcome to United Country Lifestyle Properties.
So while we're watching this, so the most important thing with your videos is you. It's not, I mean, the property is important, of course, but too often I see videos that real estate agents do and they're not in it. People want and need to see your face in the video. So if that requires a tripod, that is a relatively inexpensive item. On a lot of these videos that you'll watch, they actually have like a little clip that they've put in their car, and it's video taping them as they're driving to the property. You can tell this one is probably a newer video because it does have some more advanced editing, like the map that you just saw. But when speaking with the McPhails, especially if it's land, that's kind of hard. A house is a little bit easier sometimes because it does have different rooms, and you can kind of say, okay, well, this is the master, or this is the kitchen. But they find that with land, that the videos where they have done their research and they can tell you more about the property, if there's a national park that's near it, or if there's a water feature, you know, what type of fish, you know, might you catch in that river or that lake or that stream. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, but that would be my first step in your YouTube kind of development is, you know, and maybe the McPhail's YouTube site isn't something similar to the type of videos that you would prefer to do, but find a realtor or a real estate agent to subscribe to on maybe a couple of channels on YouTube and start watching, and that'll get you kind of inspired as to what type of content you want to create. So here I am just on my YouTube. You can see my face up there. And so Johnny has invited me to be admin on your channel. And I believe you've asked, do you have other people? I know you have a few in your office, Johnny, that can add videos to your channel. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you are one of those people, or you soon become one of those people, it's just you just ask them, hey, Johnny, I want to add a video to our channel. Is that okay? And we really highly encourage the offices to allow their agents to do that, because I believe that by having an office channel, you are going to grow your subscribers twice as fast, maybe even more than that, because rather than you singularly trying to grow a presence on YouTube, you've got 10, 15, 20 people that are consistently adding content, that have friends and family that are subscribing. So this is your channel for your office. And if you have not already gone to YouTube and subscribed to that, do that immediately. Do it as soon as you get off today's training. Ask your friends and family to subscribe. You can share this channel by using the URL at the top to your social media and ask others to subscribe to your channel. Again, the number of subscriptions and subscribers is really good, because then you get into credibility in YouTube's eyes. So we want to get those numbers up. Johnny has an introductory video here that will automatically play for anybody that visits your channel, that talks a little bit about your brokerage. And then the way that your channel is presently set up, he's emulated that same style that the McPhails have, that I think is just wonderful. And that is to cross-index the content by the person, the agent. So you can see here, we've got John Rainey has a few, Tracy's got some. I love your hashtag, Tracy. I think I've told you that before. Hashtag Tall Texas Realtor. And there is definitely a place for hashtags on YouTube. And we're going to dig down a little deeper in a second on when and where to use those, because they are indexed and searchable. Amy's got 26 videos, and then Jay's got 4 on here. So if you were trying to share this with a potential seller, that's something that we did a lot in our brokerage. We would literally include our YouTube channel on all of our marketing materials, whether it be a business card or it's a QR in the form of a QR code, is a really great way to market your YouTube channel, because especially now with the, COVID, a terrible thing, but a really great thing came out of it, that now people know what a QR code is and how to use it. So by scanning that QR code, it could automatically take the consumer from that marketing piece to your YouTube channel. And then they could immediately navigate to your, profile or to your videos as an agent. Over time, it starts to become a digital resume. If you think about it, and if you're presently doing video, which I do think a lot of you are, what I typically see is that someone will do a short video maybe and put it on their Facebook maybe they'll do that this month and maybe another one next month, maybe another one in a couple weeks. Well, what happens on Facebook is that it's hard to find. Like, there's no way to go onto someone's Facebook account and easy and quickly see all of the video content that they've created, like you can by just clicking right here on Tracy's name, for example. So what YouTube allows you to do is create a library. The other thing that I want to remind you of is that YouTube is what? It's a search engine. It is the second largest search engine in the world. And guess who owns it? Google. So if you've never noticed before, when you do your Google searches, on page 1 towards the top, if there's a video with that related title or description, it returns it, and it takes up a ton of room on your search results. So they're indexed and easily found by search engines. You've broken your team down here, I see, Johnny, into your office location. So you've got Longview and then Canton, and then you've got your auctioneers. Kind of interesting. I participated in a National Auctioneers Association community conversation last week. That's a Zoom, kind of like what we're having today, and they invite everyone in the association to participate. They had over 50 people from across the United States that are some of the top marketers that I know of in our industry. And when they opened up the conversation, they literally asked, what are you doing that's getting results right now? And guess what the answer was?
YouTube.
Video. It was YouTube and video. And so not only creating the content, but having it in a form that it is easily found by the consumer. They've got, you guys also have these broken into your specialty property groups, which goes back to what Melissa spoke to us earlier about the importance of leveraging how unique that is to your brokerage. Other brokerages don't have specialty marketing websites. They don't have 37 different websites for all of the specialty property groups that you could potentially service. So why not, emphasize that even further with your content by indexing and cross-referencing those into playlists like you've done here. He's got, you guys have them for country homes, homes in town, luxury homes, lakefront properties. Think as a consumer how cool it would be to be able to go to a community YouTube website in your area and immediately be able to look at videos that are organized in this fashion. So one of the reasons that real estate videos have really exploded in the past few years is also because of COVID and that desire of, this is a mass migration, somebody that is living in LA or Seattle or New York City, when they have free time and they're at home and they're streaming content, they're dreaming of living in Texas and owning a ranch or maybe owning a farm. And so we're seeing more and more people move to areas that they have never visited. A lot of properties are bought sight unseen. Well, how do they know where they want to go, or how do they know about that community? They are watching video to learn about everything they want to know in these rural areas that they have never visited. So when you're creating your video content, they don't have to be just about properties. You can create content about your area, create content about why somebody might want to move to Longview or Quanah or Canton. And you can create content that revolves around events that you have, or around, the lifestyle. Here are a few more of the specialty property groups that he's got sorted into categories. I like the way you did that. Land and then broken down, and then the commercial and investment, and then finally auction. So familiarize yourself with your YouTube channel, and so that when you are ready, you kind of have an idea of what sort of content you are adding and where you want it to go. I'm sure that Johnny and Amy both would guide you on the best way for that to be uploaded. But I wanted to literally go through some steps and show you what you need to do when you add a video to this channel. So let me just toggle back. So if you're on your YouTube account, so when you go to youtube.com, you'll know if you're logged in or not, because you'll see up in the right-hand corner that you're actively logged in an account. If you're not, or you're not logged into your YouTube account, this is the place that you'll click, and you can either sign out, you can switch your account. And so when you want to, or need to, or are ready to add content to your channel, you're going to want to go to this top right icon again, and then switch your account. So if you have access to the H5, you can see here, I have access to quite a few United Country YouTube channels. This is something I regularly provide consulting on and assistance with the different offices. Here's your channel. More than likely, you'll just have one or maybe two choices when you click on switch account, but you want to be on H5. So I'll click there. So now I am currently active on YouTube as H5. So to add a video, you can do it directly from the create button here. I really like to take this second step once I know that I'm on the right YouTube channel, and I like to go to the YouTube studio. So the create button looks the same. This is just more of a dashboard that you can look around a little bit first and get kind of a better idea of what's been recently published, your latest post and whatnot. But either way, you can use the create button. You just want to make sure that you're on the correct channel when you click create, because if you don't, it's going to add it to your personal YouTube, or it's just going to add it to YouTube as like a loose video that's not attached to a channel. So make sure you're on the channel first and then click on create. Now you got a couple different options. You do have the option of going live. That can be a little bit intimidating for someone that's newer, but it could be a great option. Think about how cool it would be if you had an online auction. So you could do something similar to what we're doing today. You could share your screen and have like your online auction live, you know, so that the people could see it in the background, and then they could see your face. And you could literally just kind of get some, you know, energy going. Hey, look, oh, wow, the highest bid right now is da-da-da-da. It's ending in 5 minutes. Like that could be an opportunity. Of course, there's tons of other ways that you could go live, but you may want to play around a little bit first before you put yourself out there for the first time in the live environment. Today, I think most of us are probably going to be uploading an existing video that you've already recorded. So that is the first option that says upload video. So pretty easy so far. And I really wanted to show you these steps because I think sometimes people can be intimidated by this technology as far as what you actually need to click and do to get it there. So get on the channel, go to create, then click upload video. Now we're going to select our file. So I'm just going to pick a random file from my computer. I won't save it, Johnny, don't worry. And so I just picked a file. So you can also do this from your telephone. I'm older than I look, hopefully. And I just don't like doing things from my phone. I can't see anymore. I'm just kind of like clumsy with it. But for some of you, that might be easier because the video might be on your phone. So that is definitely an option. And there are tools within YouTube to quickly and easily edit the video. So just because I selected that video to upload doesn't mean that I'm finished and that I don't have the opportunity to make changes to it. YouTube has really worked hard and done a lot of work on their video editing tools. So whether you do it on your phone or your computer, those are both options to you. I like to do it from my computer just because I can see better, and I'm just more comfortable with a full keyboard. So when you choose to upload a video, and I see this so often, this is where people just hit, okay, I picked my video, next. Don't do that. This is the most important part of adding a video to YouTube, is making sure that you're adding words that will help it to be found by the consumer. People laugh at me when I say this, but I'll say it every time. You know, Google is blind. It is the Ray Charles of the internet. It cannot see. So what you don't literally tell it using your words, it does not know. It can guess, especially with video, because it'll go through and it'll try to, you know, transcribe your words, but it's a soupy mess, especially with our country accents. So the only way to be 100% sure that Google and YouTube, I use those terms interchangeably because it's the same company, know what you're adding is to tell it. And so the same way that we've trained you to add your listing to Bullseye and to your office website, use those same concepts when you're adding your video. And I always say, what is it? Where is it? If you were a consumer looking for this type of content, what would you search? And I often find that for some reason, people are afraid to be hyper local whenever they're adding any kind of content to the internet. But for us, it's a huge advantage, actually, because if you think about it, how many videos do you think are on YouTube that have the word quanta in them? Not many.
Yeah.
So you have taken billions and billions and billions of hours of content, and you have condensed it down to something very specific. And guess what? If somebody wants to find a video about quanta, you want them to find yours. It's not always about capturing the largest audience. It's about capturing the right person. 1 million people can't buy a real estate property. How many people can buy one real estate property? For the most part, it's going to be one person. So your job is to find that person. So don't be afraid of being hyper local. Always mentally think, what would the consumer, if I was a consumer and I was looking for something like this, what would I type into Google? What would I type into YouTube? And so what is it? Where is it? Is a good rule of thumb. You'll notice here, it actually tells us how many characters that you have for your title. YouTube allows 100, but it's the same as true as your listings when you're adding them to Bullseye. Yes, it will let you put 100 characters, but the most important ones are the first ones. So think of the most important words and put that first. So come up with your title, you know, you'll type that there. your description, notice that when I click down here in this area for my description, it tells me that I have 5,000 characters. That's a lot of characters. You know, I don't know that you have to have 5,000, but at least come up with a couple hundred. And here are a few things that you definitely should do that are super easy, that won't require a lot of your time. So in your description, include the URL that links them back either to your website, to your office website, to your agent website, to the listing. And so when you do that, don't just write unitedcountry.com. Because if you do it like that, it's not hot. It's not clickable. People are lazy. They're not going to copy that, then go over to a new tab, paste it, then try to find your listings. So if you have, I like to have the listing actually open in another tab. Let's see here. I should have had this already open. But you can actually go to your office website. I'm just going to go to unitedcountry.com, and you can go in and grab a property, but you want to grab the actual URL. So, when you grab the listing, I always recommend that you grab the URL from the top here. I'll just grab that one for demonstration purposes. I know that's not really a listing, but I think you get the general idea. So I wouldn't make it the first thing that you write in your description, but let's just say Longview, Texas. What are y'all near? And then notice that when I paste that URL in there, it actually gives me the HTTP and then 2 slashes. You can't tell in this edited window, but when this is saved and the consumer pulls up your video, directly underneath the video, it will allow them to view the description of the property. And that's where you can click, and you can actually, they will be able to go directly back to your office website or to your agent website or whatever that URL is that you provided. And again, keep it simple. You know, again, people are lazy. So YouTube is all about driving traffic back to the mothership, as I call it. And so that is an easy, fast way to do that. When you're writing your description, think about not only what city this is in or what it might be near, but what is the name of the county? You know, if you're writing that it's a poultry farm, what are some things that are indicative of a poultry farm? Oh, it has hen houses. Okay, well, it has incubators. Think of words that are synonymous with that property type. Whether it be a farm or a recreational property. If you're writing about a hunting property, well, if it's a hunting property, what do you hunt there? If it's a fishing property, what's the name of the river? What's the name of the dock? What's the name of the marina? What's the name of the types of fish that you might be able to find there? And so all of this will build your SEO, and we have a lot of recorded videos on SEO and how to write copy. And this is something that I get asked pretty regularly. If this was a video for a listing, maybe that you've already put in bullseye and you went through all the blood, sweat, and tears of doing the research, and you're like, man, I wrote the best title and description for this listing, and dadgummit, I have to do it again. No, you don't. It's totally okay. If you feel like you've done a great job with the SEO on the listing in Bullseye and the description that you wrote in Bullseye, you can copy and paste that over to your YouTube title and description. It won't be considered duplicate content. So that is definitely an option, but don't just copy and paste the listing title and description if you didn't do the work. So some people might even be able to copy and paste it over and then just jazz it up a little bit. So that's another option, but I really want you to do a good job in both places. So in addition to, if let's just say you did a great job in Bullseye with your title and description, so you don't have to like reinvent the wheel and you've got all your SEO in place, definitely go in and add the URL. I always recommend adding it near the beginning, not the first thing, but maybe like the second sentence, like include that URL that you want to drive the traffic back to. So that's one tip for YouTube. The other thing is that YouTube is hashtag friendly. So towards the end, a lot of people will do it towards the end of their description. Think of hashtags that are related to your video. So, you know, Longview, Texas might be a hashtag. And notice that as I type the hashtag, it actually gives me statistics on how many videos have that hashtag and how many channels have that hashtag. And don't limit your hashtags to only geography. One of the hashtags that the McPhails, who we talked about earlier, that have 45,000 subscribers, one of their most popular hashtag that drives the most traffic to their channel and videos is cabins. Maine cabins. So a lot of people are searching for hashtag Maine cabin on YouTube. The cool thing about the hashtags, and a couple things to remember, is that in the search results, if you include hashtags in your description, YouTube will actually append the first hashtag to your title. So let's just say you came up with 100 characters and you have a very robust title. So you have met your maximum number of characters as far as your video title description. YouTube, if you have a hashtag in your description, even if it's just one, they will take that first hashtag and append it to your title. So when someone is searching for videos, you will have the longest title out there because it's doing that formulaically, I think that's a word, for you. And it definitely catches the eyeball. So that's kind of a neat trick. The other thing, and I think I saw this on your channel, come up with a hashtag for yourself. As an agent, you should be using a hashtag. I think it was Tall Texas Realtor that I saw, Tracy, on yours. And so that should definitely be a hashtag on all of your videos. And that's because when maybe somebody watches one of your videos and they're like, wow, I really love that property. I want to see more of her stuff. Well, the fastest, easiest way for them to do that is to search YouTube for that hashtag. And I'll show you some examples of how you can search on there for hashtags, but they won't find that content if you're not consistently using that hashtag to brand yourself, to brand your office, to brand the property type. So I'll leave you with one last thing about hashtags, and this is very important. Don't use more than 15 on YouTube. I know for a fact, I've read it in black and white writing by Google, has stated that if you use more than 15 hashtags in your video description, you will be penalized. 15 is a lot of hashtags, and we probably have all seen some content somewhere, maybe even on Instagram, where someone had more than that, which it is exhausting to me that someone could come up with that many. But it does. I do see it. And that's why I feel that it's necessary, especially on YouTube. As much as I want you to use hashtags, keep it to less than 15. Okay. So I think most of you, to me, like 6 is a healthy number or less, but I know sometimes, you just get carried away and you may not think that there's anything wrong with it. If a little's good, a lot's better, but they have literally stated in writing that they will penalize videos in their algorithm that have more than 15. Any questions so far? Okay, so a lot of information, I know. And so now at this point, I've got my title. Hopefully you've got a better title and a much longer description. If we have time, I might actually play around with rewriting one for your channel. If you ever need any help with it, please reach out to me by email and send me a link to the video. I would be happy to take a look at it and make recommendations, or just, sometimes give you an attaboy and say, wow, you really got this the first time. So it's worth the review until you feel more comfortable. So once you get your words in there and now, Google knows what you've added. Another thing that people often overlook when they're adding their videos to YouTube, they don't create the description. They don't have a title. They may not include a URL or hashtags. And they, a lot of times, just pick from, it generates suggested thumbnails. And so I might look at this and be like, that's decent. I can live with that thumbnail. Believe it or not, this is actually part of YouTube's algorithm. When they are looking to recommend videos and recommend search results, if you have a custom thumbnail, they will actually give your video priority over all the other videos that may have the same keywords. So it sounds really fancy, but it's super easy to do to create your own custom thumbnail. And a lot of you guys are familiar with Canva. If you didn't already know this, Canva is free. They do have paid versions, and it's a very minimal cost, but anyone on today's Zoom can access Canva, canva.com, and do what I'm about to show you. So on Canva, they have added a tool that will create, I just typed in YouTube thumbnail. So I want to create a custom thumbnail for my YouTube video. And so all I did was just put in there YouTube thumbnail, and it actually will pull up all of these pre-formatted graphics that I can just modify and make my own however I desire. You obviously could create your own from scratch, and it would, the nice thing about doing it this way is it's automatically going to make it the exact dimensions that it needs to be. So you don't have to fiddle around and wonder like, oh my God, what size does it need to be? Is this going to be right when I upload it? So this is a great tool that makes creating your custom thumbnail so much easier. They find that videos with custom thumbnails, if you don't care about the algorithm, maybe you're like, whatever, I don't care if Google's going to recommend my video or not. Guess what? The consumer cares. And that's one of the reasons that they incorporated this custom thumbnail into their algorithm, is that they find that videos with custom thumbnails are clicked on 80 times more often than videos where you just kind of select whatever YouTube recommends out of like your reel. So couple things here to be aware of. If you see a little dollar mark, that means that it is a paid. That means you have to be like in a paid subscription to Canva to be able to access it and use it. Or you can pay like off, just for that one without having a subscription. Like this one here does not have the little dollar sign down at the bottom. So that means it's completely free, right? So basically just find one that you sort of like, and then you can customize it and it's super easy. So for mine, what was my video? Animated gifs. And then I'm just clicking right on the area that it already has for me. And look at that, I'm done. I've made my custom thumbnail, and how much better does that look and more attractive than that? So, the next step is simply just to download it, and it'll ask you here, you just go to download and you can save it to your computer. And then when I go back, purple creative. Okay. So now when I go back over here, I can just click and upload my custom thumbnail. Downloads. Boom. Now I look like a rock star, and it took me like no time whatsoever to make that. So then I'll just continue to scroll down here. It's going to ask me what playlist. So we already talked about the playlist, and, you know, familiarize yourself, maybe talk to Johnny or Amy about how the best way to organize this video might be. And, you know, you want to have a consistency on your channel so that it's easy for consumers to find things. So you can click multiple playlists. That's the cross indexing. So if this was Amy, she could click her name, and then she could pick, you know, education. If it's an educational video, she can pick the property type if it falls into that category. So you can click multiples, and then you'll continue to scroll here. This is a question I get often, and I hear people that get the answer confused all the time. It's asking, is this video made for children? So that doesn't mean, is this video child friendly? And that's what a lot of times people think it means. Like, sure, it's not X-rated. This is fine for kids. That is not what this question is asking you. So if you click yes, that means that your video is going to be with Barney and Dora the Explorer and all the other content that is created specifically to be marketed to children. So your answer to this question, is this content created for children? No, it is not. This is for anybody. It's not, this is not content that is made to market specifically to a underage juvenile market. So here you'll say, no, it's not made for kids. It's kind of crazy. I can totally see how people get confused about what that could mean, but I wanted to really emphasize that because I get phone calls all the time from people that are like, I did everything you said, Nora, but I still can't find my video on YouTube. And I'll go in and look, and it's because that is checked to yes. So there are more options. So if you click on show more, you do have the option of doing a paid promotion, and that is something that you may want to consider when you do paid sponsorship of your videos. It depends on the property and what your desired effects are, but guys, it is pennies on the dollar compared to what you might pay to advertise it on google.com. So it is definitely a lot cheaper and economical. And if you're really wanting to get a jump start, that may be an option that we want to talk about separately. I'll go ahead and scroll down about, you know, just promoting your video. Tags. Don't go crazy. Just add a few tags that these are like keywords. So similar, they might even be the same exact thing that you used for your hashtags, but just use like maybe 5 tags, like long view. You have to put a comma after each one. So you get the idea, but just, those are like keywords that you're actually manually forcing YouTube to recognize. And then I think you're done at that point. When you're ready, you can just go ahead. I believe in allowing all comments, and then just click on next. So I'm not going to save this video because I don't think you want this on your channel, but a couple of things, I think we're getting close to time for me, that are super important for y'all to know. And you may already know this, but I want to emphasize this. YouTube is social media. Okay. So they reward your interaction. So when someone comments on your video, respond to everything. Respond to the person that says, you're crazy, I'd never pay that much. Respond to everyone, and you will be rewarded in the algorithm because it shows attentiveness. Okay. The other thing that is really interesting is that the McPhails, when they first added videos, they did not include the price. I have other agents and offices that didn't either. And what they have all told me is include the price. The consumer, the price is the price. You not saying it doesn't make it not the price, or you not putting it in your description doesn't not make the price. And you could, sometimes the problem and the reason people don't want to verbally say the price during their video is because they're like, well, gosh, Nora, what if it changes? Then I have to redo my video, and you don't want to do that because then you lose all the views, and you basically are starting over. So maybe the best way to do it is to say, I've included the price in the description, or you can click on the link that I've provided in the description for more information. I would do both. But the good thing about saying the price is in the description is that if it changes, you can go into the description without editing your video and losing all the views, and you can change the price. What some other people have done, and this is another option, is they say the price in the video, or they have like an overlay of text that has the price, but they verbally say, it's possible there has been, a price change since this video was published. For the most recent price, please make sure to view the video description where we will update any changes and access the direct link to the property information for updates. So that is something that I would highly recommend. Okay, so a lot of information. I know I got a little down in the nitty-gritty, but I think that that's important to maybe bring a little bit more familiarity and visit some of those really important points about adding content so that it can be found. And I'll just break for a few minutes on any questions.
Johnny, I have a question.
Go, Cindy.
Nora, when you were talking about the thumbnail usage, are you saying to thumbnail that brands use specifically and use that thumbnail on any video you ever put out there?
So your thumbnail should be different for each video. However, what you will sometimes see is, let me see if I can show you an example. You will sometimes see where a brand, like this guy has his own channel, but you can see, even though the thumbnail is different, there's a consistency so that it is branded in a sense. See how like they're different. They say different things, but they look similar. I don't know, that is so important as just having a custom thumbnail for each video. So it would be different each time. Let me show you kind of like.
You need to create a thumbnail. You need to create a thumbnail on your video.
So y'all have a few on your channel that have thumbnails. Like this is a thumbnail. Tracy's got one and Amy's got one. This one looks like it maybe was selected from the suggestions. This one is a custom thumbnail because it's got the text overlay. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Length of videos, how critical is that, Nora?
To put the URL in the description.
No, the time, I mean, should the video be 90 seconds long? Should
Oh,
it be 10 seconds
I'm
long?
sorry. Yeah, that's a great question. The length, how long the content is. So there's different schools of thought on that. I think you should have a little bit of everything. When we made videos for our office, we would have a short form video and a long form video. The long form video always got fewer views, or actually, if you looked at the retention of the viewer, you know, there were very few that watched it in its entirety. However, I just need 1 or 2 people to watch the whole thing. That's the person that's going to buy it, right? So a lot of times people think, oh, I shouldn't make long form videos because nobody watches them. And if they do, they don't even watch it to the end. We don't care if 1 million people watch it to the end. All you need is 1 buyer to watch it to the end, because that's your true audience. So when it comes to using your analytics as far as your channel, because after you start doing this for a while, you'll be in there, even as an admin, if you're adding videos to the channel, you'll have access to see who's watching your videos, how long they watch them. It can be discouraging to create long form content because you feel like, well, why am I going all this trouble? Because a ton more people watch the short, you know, little 30-second one. But you got to think about who is that one, or who are those 5 people that actually watch the whole thing? Those are your true buyers or your potential sellers, because it's not just buyers that are watching this content. Sellers do a lot of research before they contact y'all. You know, they think they can do their own comps. Oh yeah, my property's worth $10 million because look at this one over here, you know, or whatever. And they are doing a lot of research. And so they're searching for properties like the one that they're hoping to sell. And guess what? Maybe they'll find a past listing that you had. Now they've gained confidence that you are familiar with that property type. They now know who you are. So this is not just a tool to get buyers. We got way more sellers from our YouTube channel than we ever got buyers.
Awesome.
All
Any other
right.
questions?
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this today. And of course, Johnny can provide my contact information if you have any questions you think of later. Or like I said, I'm always happy to review somebody's title and description if they recently added a video to YouTube, and provide suggestions or recommendations, or, you know, even if you wanted to review anything that we talked about today, I'd be happy to do that.
Hey, Nora,
Very
I hope
good.
you
Hey,
don't
Brandon.
mind, Nora. I actually emailed you my most recent YouTube video. I mean, when you get a chance. And so-
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. I'll take a look.